They don't tell you that freedom has an expiration date. You think you've escaped your country, your failures, your age, and then one day, a woman behind a desk stamps a red box on your passport, and suddenly you're illegal in the only place that felt like home. If these confessions move you, hit like, drop a comment, and let us know where you're listening from. This story was shared with us by a viewer who wanted others to know what happens when the dream runs out. I'm standing at the immigration desk in Penang, Malaysia, and the officer is holding my passport like it's evidence. She's flipping through the pages slowly, deliberately, and I can feel sweat pooling under my shirt collar even though the air conditioning is blasting. I've done this run maybe 15 times in the last 4 years. Fly out of Thailand, stay a night or two across the border, fly back in with a fresh 30-day tourist stamp. It's how half the expats I know survive here. No one ever said it was illegal, just unofficial, a loophole everyone used. Trevor told me once over beers at his favorite bar in Pattaya that he'd been doing it for 7 years straight. No problems. No questions, just stamp and go. But this time the woman looks up at me with this blank bureaucratic expression and says, "You cannot enter Thailand again on tourist visa." Her voice is flat, emotionless, like she's reading from a script she's said 1,000 times before. And just like that, my life collapses. I try to explain calmly at first that I've been doing this for years, that I have a girlfriend in Pattaya, that all my money, my apartment, my life is there. She just shakes her head and points to a red stamp she's already placed on the page. Denied. I feel this cold rush through my chest like I've been shoved underwater. I ask if there's someone I can speak to, someone higher up, maybe pay a fee, anything. She waves me aside. There's a line of people behind me now, all staring. A young couple with backpacks, a businessman in a suit checking his watch impatiently, an elderly woman with a walking stick. They're all looking at me like I'm holding them up, like I'm the problem. I walk away from the desk holding my passport like it's a death sentence. My hands are shaking when I find a seat near the departure gates. I keep opening the passport, looking at that red stamp, like maybe if I look at it enough times it'll disappear. But it's there. Dark red ink. Final. Permanent. I feel this pressure, building in my chest, this panic that makes it hard to breathe properly. I'm 64 years old. I left Australia 4 years ago with nothing but a suitcase and a pension that barely covers rent. I thought I was starting over. I thought I'd found a place where I could be someone again, where I mattered. The terminal is crowded, families rushing past, businessmen on phones, young backpackers laughing about their next destination. Everyone has somewhere to go. I don't. I can't go forward. I can't go back. I sit there for 2 hours, just staring at my phone, trying to figure out what to do. I can't go back to Thailand. I can't stay here in Malaysia. I can't afford a flight home to Australia, not without selling everything I own, which is all locked in my apartment in Pattaya. My laptop, my clothes, the few books I brought from home. Some photos of my kids from years ago, back when they were small and still looked at me like I was worth something. Eventually I call Phi. She answers on the 4th ring, and I can hear music and voices in the background. Loud, chaotic. She's at work. The karaoke bar on Walking Street where she works 6 nights a week, entertaining drunk tourists and lonely expats like me. I try to explain what happened, but my voice keeps breaking and I'm talking too fast. She doesn't understand half of it. Her English is decent but not great, and when I say immigration rejected me, she just says, "What you mean?" I try again. Slower this time. I tell her I can't come back, that they won't let me in, that I'm stuck here in Malaysia. There's this long silence on the other end, and then she says, "So you're not coming tonight?" I almost laugh. It's so absurd. The world is falling apart around me and she's asking if I'll make it to dinner. I tell her no, I'm not coming tonight. I'm not coming at all, unless I figure something out. She goes quiet again and I can hear someone talking. To her in Thai, probably her manager telling her to get back to the customers. Then she says, "Okay, baby, you call me tomorrow, okay? I'm working now." And she hangs up. Just like that. 4 years together and that's all I get. A casual dismissal. A promise to talk tomorrow that feels as empty as everything else in my life right now. I sit there staring at the screen. That's it. 4 years together and that's all I get. I feel this sick tightness in my stomach, like I've been cut loose from something I didn't realize was holding me up. I think about Phi, 23 years old. Beautiful in that way that Thai women are beautiful. Delicate features, long black hair, skin like porcelain. Works nights at a karaoke bar on Walking Street. We met my second week in Pattaya. I was lonely. She was friendly. It started like it always starts. A drink, a conversation, a phone number. She told me she had a grandmother in Aizen who needed medicine. I gave her money. Not much at first, just enough to feel like I was helping. 500 baht here, 1,000 there. Then it became more. Rent, phone bills, her brother's school fees, emergencies that came up every few weeks. Her motorcycle broke down. Her grandmother fell sick again. The roof of the family house needed repairs. I never questioned it. I was just grateful she stayed. Grateful that someone young and beautiful wanted to spend time with me. I book a cheap hotel near the airport in Penang and spend the night Googling everything I can find about Thai visa law. The websites are confusing, full of half answers and outdated forum posts from years ago. Some people say you can apply for a 60-day tourist visa from a consulate and try again. Others say once you're flagged in the system, you're done, finished. There are stories about guys getting blacklisted for years. I read one thread where a man from the UK got banned for 5 years after doing too many border runs. 5 years. I'd be 69 by then. An old man with nothing. I feel my breathing get shallow and I have to sit on the edge of the bed and press my palms into my knees just to stay calm. The hotel room is small and smells like mildew. The air conditioner rattles. Outside I can hear traffic and voices and the distant call to prayer from a mosque somewhere. I think about calling my daughter back in Australia, but I already know what she'll say. She never understood why I left. She thinks I'm chasing something stupid, something dangerous. Maybe she's right, but I can't go back there. I can't go back to that flat in Albury, to the winter, to sitting alone every night watching TV and waiting to die, to the cold mornings and empty afternoons and the feeling that I'd already lived all the good parts of my life. Thailand gave me something. Maybe it wasn't real, maybe it was just cheap rent and a young girlfriend and the feeling that I still mattered. But it was better than nothing. Better than waking up at 3 in the morning with my heart racing, thinking about how empty my life had become. Better than watching other men my age play lawn bowls and talk about grandchildren I barely see. In Thailand I had a routine, I had a purpose, even if that purpose was just paying bills and pretending I was needed. I try calling Phi again around midnight. No answer. I send her a message. I need help. Can you ask around? Someone must know what to do. She replies 2 hours later. Okay, baby, I ask my friend. That's all. 3 words. I don't sleep. I just lie there in the dark, listening to the sound of traffic outside and feeling the weight of my own stupidity pressing down on my chest. How did I let this happen? How did I build a life on something so fragile? I should have known better. I should have seen it coming, but I didn't want to see it. I wanted to believe that this was sustainable, that I could keep doing this forever. Flying in and out, 30 days at a time. Living in limbo but calling it freedom. The next morning I get a message from a guy named Trevor. He's a British expat I know from a bar in Pattaya. Mid-50s, bald, beer gut, loud voice. The kind of guy who holds court at the bar and tells stories about the old days, when everything was cheaper and easier. Phi must have told someone, and word got around the way it always does in the expat community. Everyone knows everyone's business. Trevor calls me and says, "Mate, you're not the first. They've been cracking down hard this year. Immigration's fed up with all the border runners. You've got 2 options, go home or get an agent to sort you a proper visa." I ask him what kind of visa. He says education visa is the easiest. You enroll in a Thai language school, doesn't matter if you ever go, and the school sponsors your visa. It costs money, but it works. He gives me the name of a guy in Bangkok who handles it. Says it'll run me about 60,000 baht, maybe more. That's almost 3,000 Australian dollars. I tell him I don't have that kind of cash just sitting around. He goes quiet for a second, then says, "Then you're fucked, aren't you?" His voice is matter of fact. Not cruel, just honest. I hang up and sit there staring at the wall. The paint is peeling in the corner. There's a stain on the ceiling that looks like it's been there for years. I check my bank account. I've got about 12,000 baht left in my Thai account and maybe 4,000 Australian in my savings back home. Not enough, not even close. I think about my apartment in Pattaya. The rent's paid through the end of the month, but if I can't get back in, I'll lose the deposit. Lose everything inside. My laptop, my clothes, some photos of my kids from years ago. All of it just locked away, gone. I try calling the landlord, but he doesn't pick up. I send him a message in broken Thai using Google Translate. No response. I feel this creeping sense of erasure, like I'm being deleted from a place I thought was mine, like I was never really there at all. Just a ghost passing through, temporary, disposable. I spend the rest of the day walking around Penang trying to clear my head. The city is beautiful. Colonial buildings with faded grandeur, street food vendors selling noodles and satay. Temple bells ringing in the distance, but I can't see any of it. All I can think about is that red stamp, that woman's face, that cold bureaucratic finality. You cannot enter Thailand again on tourist visa, like I'm a criminal, like I've done something wrong. I fly to Bangkok 2 days later, on a one-way ticket I can barely afford. $75 on AirAsia. I don't have a visa to enter Thailand, but I'm hoping I can talk my way into a 30-day stamp at the airport and then immediately start the education visa process. The immigration officer at Suvarnabhumi looks at my passport, sees all the old stamps, page after page of them, and calls over a supervisor. They speak in Thai for a minute, and I'm standing there sweating again, trying to smile, trying to look harmless. An old man. Not a threat. Just someone trying to get home. Eventually the supervisor waves me through, but he says, "This your last time on tourist? You understand?" His English is clear. His eyes are hard. I nod, I understand. I take a taxi straight to the agent's office in a narrow alley off Sukhumvit. The driver doesn't speak much English, but he knows the address. We drive through the chaos of Bangkok traffic, motorcycles weaving between cars, street vendors on every corner, the smell of food and exhaust mixing in the thick, humid air. The agent's office is a cramped little room with a plastic desk and a fan that barely works. There's a calendar on the wall from 2 years ago, and a framed photo of the king. The agent is a middle-aged Thai man with glasses and a tired expression. He looks like he's seen 1,000 guys like me, desperate, running out of options. He looks at my passport, flips through it slowly, counting the stamps, and says, "You're very lucky they let you in. Normally they send you back." I ask him if he can help. He says yes, but the price is 70,000 baht now. More than Trevor said. I ask why. He shrugs. New policy. Immigration more strict. School need extra fee for paperwork. Processing take longer now. Everything more difficult. I don't have 70,000. I tell him I can give him 40 now and the rest in 2 weeks. He shakes his head slowly. Need all now. No payment plan. School want money up front. I sit there feeling my options shrink. The room is hot. The fan is making a clicking sound. I can hear traffic outside and someone shouting in Thai. I ask if there's any other way. He leans back in his chair and says, "You can marry Thai girl. That different visa. Marriage visa good for 1 year. Can renew every year, but you need money for that too. And you need real marriage. Immigration check. They interview you. They come to house sometimes." I think about Phi. We've talked about it before, half joking. She always said maybe someday, but now it feels different. Desperate, not romantic. Just practical. I leave the office without committing to anything and walk out into the heat and noise of Bangkok, feeling more lost than I've ever felt in my life. The streets are packed. Vendors shouting their prices, tuk-tuks honking, the smell of grilled meat and durian and exhaust fumes mixing in the thick air. I walk for hours just trying to think, trying to see a way out, but every path leads back to the same place, money. I need money I don't have. Money for a visa I can't afford, or money for a marriage that might not even work. I think about what my life was like before Thailand. The divorce. Both of them. The first one I was 43, Sharon. We'd been married 20 years. 2 kids, a house in the suburbs. I worked as a logistics manager for a trucking company. Long hours, late nights. She said I worked too much, cared too little, that I was never home, that the kids barely knew me. We fought about it for years before she finally left. Took the kids, took half of everything. I moved into a flat by myself and kept working. The second one, I was 56. Linda, we met at a friend's barbecue. She was a nurse, 10 years younger than me. We got married after a year. I thought it would be different this time. I was working less, trying to be present. But she said I'd given up, that I was just waiting to die, that I had no joy left in me. Maybe she was right. I spent 2 years after that barely leaving the house. Just me and the TV and a bottle of cheap whiskey every night. My daughter stopped calling. My mates stopped inviting me out. I became invisible. Then I saw an ad online. Retire in Thailand. Live like a king on $800 a month. I didn't believe it at first, but I looked into it. Read the forums, watched the YouTube videos. Guys my age living in beachside apartments. 20-year-old girlfriends smiling like they'd found the secret to life. I thought, why not? What do I have to lose? So I sold my furniture, packed a bag and bought a one-way ticket to Bangkok. That was 4 years ago, and for a while it worked. I felt alive again. I felt wanted. Faye made me feel like I mattered, even if I was paying for it, even if it was transactional. It was better than being alone. I take a bus down to Pattaya that night. It's a 2-hour ride and I spend the whole time rehearsing what I'm going to say to Faye. I need to be honest, but not desperate. Practical, but not cold. I need her to understand that this is serious, that I'm running out of time. The bus is half empty. A few Thai families heading home. A couple of backpackers asleep in the back. The driver has the radio on, Thai pop music mixing with static. When I get to her apartment, she's surprised to see me. She thought I was still stuck in Malaysia. The apartment is small. One room with a kitchenette and a tiny bathroom. There's a bed, a TV, a pile of clothes in the corner. Pictures of her family on the wall. Her grandmother. Her brother. I tell her I got in, but barely, and that I need to figure out a visa situation fast or I'm gone for good. She makes me tea, and we sit on her little balcony overlooking the street. I can hear the bar music from down below, the motorbikes, the voices of tourists and touts and bar girls calling out. It feels surreal, like I'm watching my own life from outside my body. I ask her if she's ever serious when she talks about us getting married. She looks at me, confused. Her makeup is still on from last night, dark circles under her eyes. Why you ask now? Her voice is cautious. I tell her the truth, that it might be the only way I can stay, that a marriage visa is legal, permanent, and I won't have to keep running to the border every month. She goes very still. She's holding her teacup with both hands, staring down at it. Then she says, "You won't marry me so you can stay in Thailand." Her English gets better when she's upset, more precise. I try to backtrack, tell her it's not just that I care about her, that we've been together 4 years. But the words sound hollow even to me. She stands up and goes inside. I follow her. She's pacing now, arms crossed, speaking half in Thai, half in English. She says, "You think I stupid? You think I don't know?" I ask her what she means. She says, "You never asked me marry before. Now you need visa, now you ask. This not love, this business?" I try to argue, but I can't because she's right. And the worst part is, I don't even know if I'm lying to her or to myself. Did I ever love her? Or was I just lonely? Was she just convenient, young and pretty and willing to pretend I mattered? She tells me to leave. I stand there for a minute, hoping she'll change her mind, but she just stares at the floor. Her arms are still crossed. Her jaw is set, so I go. I walk down the stairs and out onto the street, and I feel this hollow ache in my chest that I can't name. It's not heartbreak. It's something worse. It's the realization that I've been fooling myself this whole time. Her rent, her phone, her grandmother's medicine. She says it's what husbands do. I don't argue. I'm too tired to argue. I managed to scrape together enough money for the education visa and enroll in a Thai language school I'll never attend. 45,000 baht for 6 months. The school is in a building near the beach. I go once to sign the papers. The teacher is a young Thai woman who speaks perfect English. She doesn't ask why I'm enrolling. She's seen it before. Old Farangs buying visas. It buys me another 6 months. The agent smiles when I hand over the cash and says, "See? Easy." But nothing about this feels easy. I start having panic attacks at night. I wake up sweating, heart racing, convinced I'm about to get deported. That immigration will show up at the door. That they'll discover the marriage is fake. That I'll lose everything. Faye sleeps next to me, unbothered. Sometimes I watch her sleep and wonder what she's thinking. If she thinks about me at all. Or if I'm just another Farang. Another paycheck. One morning I ask her if she's happy. She looks at me like it's a strange question. Why, you ask? I don't know why. Maybe I'm hoping she'll say something kind, something that makes this feel less like a transaction. But she just shrugs and says, I don't think about happy. I think about survive. And I realize that's the difference between us. I came here looking for something I'd lost. Purpose, meaning, love. She's been surviving her whole life. Sending money home, taking care of her grandmother. Working 6 nights a week in a bar where drunk men grab at her, and she has to smile and pretend she likes it. I'm just another part of that survival. Another Farang with money and loneliness and nowhere else to go. She didn't trick me. I tricked myself. I wanted to believe I was special, that what we had was real. But it was never about me. It was about what I could provide. I think about the other men I've met here. Trevor and his stories. The Australian guy at the bar who's been married 12 years. The German who bought his wife a house and a car and still looks miserable. We're all living on borrowed time, borrowed money, borrowed affection. We get married at a district office on a Wednesday morning. There's no ceremony, no family, no celebration, just me, Phi, a translator, and a bored government official who processes the paperwork in under 10 minutes. Phi wears a nice dress, blue, fitted. She looks beautiful. I wear the same shirt I've been wearing for weeks. The official asks if we understand what we're signing. We both say yes. He stamps the documents, hands us a marriage certificate, and that's it. We're married. We take a photo outside the building. Phi holds up the certificate and smiles. I try to smile too, but it feels forced. She posts it on Facebook with a heart emoji. I don't post anything. I don't even have Facebook anymore. We go back to the apartment, and she changes into her work clothes, jeans and a tank top. I ask if she wants to do something, maybe have dinner, mark the occasion somehow. She says she can't, she has a shift. Her manager is expecting her. So I sit alone in the apartment, holding my marriage certificate, and I feel absolutely nothing. No joy, no relief, just this hollow sense that I've made a terrible mistake. But it's done now, and at least I can stay. 3 weeks after the wedding, I have to go to immigration for my marriage visa interview. They need to verify that the marriage is real, that we're not just doing this for the visa. I'm terrified. I've been reading stories online about couples who got rejected, who got caught lying, who got blacklisted. Faye comes with me, and we sit in a waiting room for 2 hours before they call us in. The room is crowded with other couples, Thai women and Western men. Some of them look happy, some of them look like us, nervous fake. The immigration officer is a woman in her 50s with a sharp, skeptical expression. She's seen thousands of couples like us. She knows the game. She asks us questions in Thai first, then in English. How did we meet? How long have we been together? Where do we live? What does my wife do for work? I answer as honestly as I can, but I can feel her watching me, measuring the gaps in my story. She asks Phi something in Thai, and Phi responds quickly, confidently. The officer writes something down. Then she asks me, why you marry Thai woman? I freeze. I don't know what the right answer is. I say because I love her. It sounds rehearsed. It sounds fake. The officer stares at me for a long moment, then looks at Phi. She says something in Thai and Phi nods. Then the officer stamps my passport and hands it back to me. 1 year, she says. You come back next year. We leave the office and I feel dizzy with relief. I did it, I'm legal. For a year at least. Phi is already on her phone texting someone. I ask her what the officer said to her in Thai. She doesn't look up. She asks if you're good husband. I say yes, that's all. The marriage visa changes nothing except my legal status. Faye and I live like strangers who share a bed. She works most nights. I spend my days walking around Pattaya, sitting in cafes, avoiding the other expats because I don't want to explain my situation. I'm ashamed of what I've become. A man who bought his way into a country, into a marriage, into a life that doesn't want him. I drink more than I used to. Not enough to be a drunk, but enough to blur the edges. Chang beer mostly. Cheap. 2 bottles with dinner. 3 if I'm feeling particularly low. I think about leaving sometimes. Just booking a flight back to Australia and accepting defeat. But every time I look at ticket prices, every time I imagine landing in Sydney with no plan, no home, no purpose, I can't do it. At least here I have a reason to wake up, even if that reason is just survival. One night, Phi comes home and tells me she needs money for her cousin's wedding. 50,000 baht. I ask her why so much. She says it's tradition, it's family I wouldn't understand. In Thai culture, you're supposed to give money at weddings. The closer the family, the more you give. I give her the money. I always give her the money. What else am I going to do with it? A few weeks later, it's her grandmother's surgery. 30,000 baht. Then her brother's motorcycle loan, 20,000. I'm hemorrhaging cash, and I know on some level that I'm being used. But I can't prove it. And even if I could, what would I do? Divorce her? Then I lose the visa. Go back to Australia. Then I lose everything. So I stay, I pay. I erode. I start doing the math in my head. How long can I keep this up? My pension is 1,500 Australian a month. That's about 35,000 baht. Rent is 10,000. Food, utilities, phone, maybe another 8,000. That leaves 17,000 for everything else. For Phi's emergencies, for her family's needs, for the house she wants me to buy in 2 years. It's not enough. I'm running out of money, running out of time, running out of reasons to keep pretending this is a life. But I don't know how to stop. I don't know how to walk away from the only thing keeping me here. One afternoon, I'm sitting in a bar near the beach nursing a beer, and an older Australian guy sits down next to me. I've seen him around, 50s maybe, grey beard, tattoos on his arms. We start talking the way expats do, about the weather, about the traffic, about how things have changed. He's been here 12 years, married to a Thai woman, 2 kids. He seems happy, or at least content. I ask him how he makes it work, how he survives the constant drain of money and obligation. He looks at me for a long moment, then says, "You stop expecting it to be what it's not. You accept the deal. You pay, they stay. That's the transaction. Once you make peace with that, it gets easier." I ask him if he loves his wife. He smiles, but it doesn't reach his eyes. "I love the life she gives me." That's close enough. I think about that conversation for days. Is that what I'm supposed to do? Make peace with it? Accept that this is just a transaction and stop wanting it to be more? Maybe that's the only way to survive here. Lower your expectations. Stop dreaming. Just exist. It's been almost a year since the marriage. I'm sitting on the balcony one evening, watching the street below, and I realize I've stopped fighting. I'm not angry anymore. I'm not even sad. I'm just here. This is my life now. Phi is inside, getting ready for work. We barely speak these days. Just practical things. Did you pay the electric bill? We need more rice. Your visa renewal is next month. When my visa comes up for renewal next month, I'll go through the process again. I'll pay the fees, answer the questions, prove that my marriage is real even though we both know it isn't. And I'll get another year, and maybe another after that. I think about the moment at the airport in Penang when the officer stamped that red box in my passport. I thought it was the end, but it wasn't. It was just the beginning of something else, something smaller, something lonelier. But I'm still here. I'm still in Thailand, and maybe that's enough. Maybe that's all it was ever going to be. I hear Phi's motorbike start up outside. She doesn't say goodbye anymore. I watch her pull out into traffic and disappear into the noise and lights of the city. I finish my beer. The sun is setting, orange and pink bleeding across the sky. Another day survived. That's the deal I made. Not happiness, not love. Just one more day, and tomorrow I'll make the same deal again. Because the truth is, I don't know how to do anything else. I don't know who I'd be anywhere else. So I stay, and I wait, and I pretend that this freedom I bought with everything I had is still worth the price. Maybe one day I'll believe it.